Hey guys, so today I have a little story for you. It happened a few years ago, but I asked some of you on Instagram, or I put up a poll on my Instagram asking if you wanted to hear this story, and like almost everyone said yes. So I'm sharing this story. So my friends and I, we were working in South Korea at the time, and we decided to take a short weekend trip to Japan. So basically, we had to get to the airport on a Friday night after work, which is an hour away from where we worked, and we had to get to the airport, catch an evening flight, and that landed us in Japan, or in Tokyo, at about, I want to say like 10 p.m. And then we had to go through, customs and immigration, and by the time we actually got out of the airport secure area and to get on the subway, it was around, I don't know, 10:45 maybe. So our hostel was about a 40-minute ride from the airport. We landed in Haneda Airport, and our hostel was in Asakusa, so we had, a little bit of distance. I think when you look on a map, it's only like 15 miles, but subway time, plus all the stops and all that stuff, it's about half an hour, 40 minutes. But that wasn't enough time for us to get to our hostel. So it gets to one of random station, Shinagawa Station, and all of a sudden, the train stops at the station. We're like, okay, yeah, this is like, some people got to get off here. But no, this guy just comes down each car and it's like, no, you have to get off, train's done, there's no more trains, it's over for tonight. So we're like, oh great. What do we do? So we get off the subway, and we're kind of asking to confirm what's going on, because none of us really speak Japanese at all. So being able to ask the worker who kicked us off what's going on, it failed in our attempt. So we found some foreigners, or other people who spoke English, and they explained that the subway stopped running, so you have to find another way to get to where you need to go if you still have somewhere to go. But the problem is, taxis in Tokyo are so incredibly expensive, and we only budgeted a certain amount of money because this was like a short weekend trip. So it's not like we saved up a bunch of money to just, go on this vacation. It was like, we're here to do this. This is what we've got planned. So taxi wasn't really in our budget, so we're like, no, let's not do that. So at this particular station, there is a 7-Eleven, 24 hours, little convenience store that we just kind of stood in, and we half looked at stuff, because we're like, oh yeah, cool, Japanese snacks, whatever. But the other part of us was like, well, what do we do? So I guess these other foreigners happened to overhear us. We weren't being quiet about it, because we were just like, what do we do? We still have this place, this far to go. How do we get there? And what are we gonna do for tonight? So we were kind of like, okay, well, maybe let's find a place to stay here for tonight. And we were kind of trying to figure out, because the area looked really dead. We're used to living in Seoul, so it's like everywhere you go, there's lights on, people walking around. It's like super busy at night. But in this particular area near this station, it was almost dead. All the buildings were closed. All of the businesses were, lights were off. The 7-Eleven was the only thing lit up in the street. And these two guys, neither of them were Japanese, and they were wearing suits. And keep in mind, this is around midnight at this point. And these two guys in suits come up to us in the 7-Eleven, and they're like, oh, hey, we happen to hear that, you guys are having trouble getting to your hostel, and you guys are thinking of maybe getting a place around here. I can help you with that. I'm a businessman, I'm a local businessman, and I can help you with a corporate account, or with my corporate connections, I guess, to the hotel right across the street. And we're like, okay. So the two guys were like, we'll help you out. So we're like, okay, fine. We huddled, we did our whole can you give us a moment, please? And we stood over here and we're like, should we do it? Should we not? And then we're like, okay, fine, let's do it. Let's just go. So we follow these two guys, and he specifically told us it was for the hotel across the street. So we're like, okay, let's just go. Because we're like, what's the worst that could happen? We can't get a room, and then we just come back across the street to the 7-Eleven again and start figure out a new plan. So we walk across the street, but he doesn't actually go to the hotel. So we're like, why did he go that way? And so we kind of follow him. We're like, where are you going? Isn't this the hotel you said that you would take us to? And he was like, well, you know, we have to go down to this other hotel because this is where my connection is, and then we can go down there, get the key to this hotel, and then come back, and then, you know, you can get your room. So we're like, okay, maybe it's connected, like they're under the same umbrella chain, and, you know, you just have to go to this one to get like connections or get hooked up, and then go to the other location that might have room. You know, like it's happened, you know, we know that that could happen, or that's possible, I guess. So we follow the guy up the road, not too long. It's just a few minutes of a walk, but it's a dark road. Keep in mind, like there's no businesses that are open at this point. So it's just street lights, occasional cars, and then us, like four of us with, you know, backpacks and carry-on luggage and stuff, following this guy in a suit, because the other guy disappeared at this point. Like we split up. I don't remember exactly where we split up, but by the time we went to the other hotel, he was gone. He was not with us when we got there. So we go in, and he's like, okay, it's gonna look suspicious if I bring all four of you in with me, so, you know, why don't we have one or two of you come with me and the other two wait outside. We split up, two of them go in there, and then the other two of us go out here, or stay outside. But we decided, like, just in case, because we, you know, we're suspicious people, okay? We're not just totally gullible and be like, okay, yeah, just take us anywhere you want. So the other two of us that were standing outside were like, you know, while you go in there, why don't we go look around? Because we did see a couple hotels on the way. Like, why don't we see if they have any, you know, rooms for the night? So we went in, and I think we went into the two hotels that were in between the two that we went to. One was like a capsule hotel, so it was just like those little pods that you can sleep in. It's like a little, just the one human-sized room. They kicked us out. They were like, no, nothing, like no service to you. And then the other one didn't have any availability. So we're like, okay, so I guess we're going back to waiting outside for the guy and our two friends. And so we go back, we're waiting outside, and the two come out. Well, the three of them, the person that's helping us and our two friends, they all come out, and they're like, okay, yeah, like we got the room, we got the key, let's go back to the other hotel. So then we walk back to the other hotel, and again, he was like, okay, this is gonna look suspicious if all of you come with me. So then the same two of us, that I was one of the people who went to the other hotels to go, you know, like ask if they had availability. So the same pairs of people split up again, and the two that went with him to the other hotel went into this hotel with him, and then the other two of us, we stayed outside, and we were like ready to go, because we waited outside, we had our bags on, we were holding our friends' bags just in case, because we, you know, like I said, we were suspicious. And I think about 10 or 15 minutes go by, and our two friends come out, but the guy doesn't come out, and they're like power walking towards us. We're just sitting on a curb in the parking lot, and they're power walking towards us, like, go, 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 we'll explain on the way, just go. And we're like, okay, oh man. So we had all the stuff ready to go, and we just start, you know, booking it down the road. We walked for about 15 minutes, and we found this little restaurant called Nakao, and it was this little 24-hour little shop next to a convenience store, but I think the convenience store was not open at the time. Maybe it was, but we went into the restaurant, and the two friends that went in with the guy told us what happened and why they needed to get out of there as soon as possible. And so they told us that, you know, they went past the front desk, no problem. They got up to the room, checked out the room, and everything looked good. But then the guy was like, okay, well, my conditions, if you're gonna stay here for the night, is that I have to get one of the keys. You know, like when you go to a hotel, they give you two keys. He said that he had to have one. And then the other condition was that he had to hold all of our passports until we checked out, and then he would arrange for us to get them back. Arrange for us, which meant that, like, he wasn't going to be there, because he said he wasn't going to be there. And we had to just trust him to arrange for our passports to be given back to us. And we were like, what? And then he was getting really, they said that he was getting really aggravated when they were like questioning why he needed a key, why he needed all of our passports, maybe collect one of ours or something. Like, give us a little bit, like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna leave all these people with one key well, you have the other and our passports, and then you're gonna just like what? No, there's risk for us as well, sir. If they had stayed there a little bit longer and kept questioning him, because I mean, we're not gonna go down without a fight, okay? Like, my friends and I, that ain't gonna happen. So, like, of course they're gonna question him and ask like why, or like, you know, all that stuff. And he was just getting really angry, and just like to the point where he was kind of almost just being like, just give it to me already, and then, you know, just take our stuff and go. And they made the decision to not take his word for it and not trust him, and so they got us out of there. We ended up at this restaurant, which we spent the night at. Thank you, restaurant, for hosting 4 random foreigners that had no idea what we were doing. I don't think any of us slept, though. We were just kind of like we were kind of in that weird phase of like kind of tired but alert because of what just happened. But then we just kind of waited it out, and by the time the morning came, you know, the subway started running. We just walked all the way back to the subway station, got on the subway, finished the ride to our hostel, and our hostel was super nice about it. They didn't cancel our reservation or anything. And so what had happened was our hostel our hostel also, when we booked the 2 nights at the hostel, the only rooms that they had available were like, they only had 2 different rooms available for each night. So our first night would have been in one room and our second night would have been in the other. But when we got there, it was like, I don't know, like 8 or 9 in the morning. And, you know, when you check out of a hostel, or when you check out, it's supposed to be by like 10, 11, maybe noon. And the hostel was so nice that they were like, no, you know what? Like, you can go into the room that you originally had for the Friday night, and you can stay in there until checkout time at 11. Like, go in there, get some rest, go to sleep, you know. And so we went in there. It was so super cool. Like, the room was awesome. And we crashed for a couple hours, took a nap, and then got up, checked out, moved our stuff to the other room, and went on with our day. So, all of that, like, you know, there's no definitive answer as to whether we were gonna get kidnapped or not. But, you know, from our interpretation of the experience, like, it felt pretty threatening enough that we were like, something sketchy was gonna happen, whether we were gonna get kidnapped, whether we were gonna get taken. I mean, Liam Neeson, if you're gonna come looking for us, then maybe I wouldn't have minded. But, you know, like, that's what happened to us in Japan, and it was super. Overall, though, Japan was awesome. It was like one of my top favorite places I've ever been. Like, the people were super nice. Everyone had like the manners over there. Oh my goodness. Like, everyone has such good manners, even on public transport. Like, I would love to go back, but not miss the train, not have to get kicked off the subway at night. Next time I'm gonna go where my flight lands early enough where I can take the full ride and get to the hotel first night. But yeah, that was our experience in Japan. That was all about how why every time I say that do I think of Fresh Prince? Like, this is a story all about how my friends and I almost got taken downtown. Okay, well, I'm gonna go now because I'm done with my story and I got nothing else to tell you for now. Okay, I'm gonna go now. Bye.